Hello everyone, it is Jackie with Pocket of Preschool, and tonight I'm gonna tell you all kinds of fun literacy, math, and STEM activities you can do with just golf tees in your classroom. We're gonna talk about why it's important to use, all the fine motor things, plus all the ways you can embed literacy, math, science, STEM, everything. So, real quick, at the top are all the links. As always, there's links to past Facebook Lives, to my DVD store, to my blog, to my Amazon storefront, which has the golf tees that I buy. It has my hammers. It has my loom bands that I get. So all of those links are there for you at the top. So I want you to tell me in the comments, what's your favorite golf tee activity? Is it the classic golf tee, hammer in the pumpkin one, and then make it into a geoboard? What's your favorite golf tee activity? So, first of all, I use golf tees all the time, and I get them from Target. I've gotten them from Walmart. Sometimes the dollar store has them, but if you want these really colorful ones, you will probably have to go to Amazon. And I link those in my Amazon storefront for you guys. And those are literally the exact ones I bought. So you're safe. So I keep them in just these two little buckets, and then I actually keep a bucket of hammers in a little tote on kind of my teacher shelf if it's not out all the time. That way I can grab it and we can use it for table time whenever we want to. These little bins are from the Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 4. These are from Melissa and Doug. I bought construction vests and I saved the hammers so they're not out all year. And then these wooden ones, because these usually eventually break or I didn't have enough for a whole small group. These are from Amazon and they're wooden. They're great, and that way everybody has a hammer, because if you give some kids a hammer and some kids a block, they're not as happy. So these, I think it's a 12 pack for $8, $10, something like that. They're not that expensive, and they've lasted me a while. And they look like they're brand new still. So those are the hammers and the golf tees. Now, what do you hammer into, right? Because you have to hammer into something. So one thing you can use are these are those kneeling mats that you use in the garden. You can tell we've used this one. So you can use these. These are from the Dollar Tree. So when the kiddos are using a golf tee, they're having to hold it with their pincer muscles, and then they're having to use hand-eye coordination. Both hands are having to work together at the same time. So they're using bilateral integration, and they're hammering it in. So that's one thing you can do, is just simply hammer. They can just hammer all the golf tees in. Totally fine to do at table time, super fun. Oh, and when they pull them out, look what they're doing. They're using those fine motor muscles again. So that's why I love golf tees, because they're great fine motor and then great hand-eye coordination, all the things. So I talked to you about the hammers. And then, so you can use these kneeling mats. Again, these are from the Dollar Tree. They're in the, usually they're out in the spring. Sometimes I bet they're still there. Sometimes. So you can use those. You can also use thicker cardboard. I shop at IKEA for furniture a lot. I love IKEA furniture. The cubbies in my classroom are all from IKEA. And a lot of furniture comes with this thicker cardboard. So it's got the grooves in the middle. So this is great for hammering, because regular cardboard, the golf tees just fall out. So you need this thicker cardboard, and they stand up. They don't really fall out. Some of the kids will hammer through them, so you'll just have to say, oh, we keep our cardboard laid flat. Your custodians, if you're getting furniture delivered, or if we're getting all this fun new COVID things delivered to our school, say, hey, if you guys get any thick cardboard, can you guys save it for me? And I'm sure they will. Or, ask family, friends, all the things. So this thick cardboard works. What else? You can also use pool noodle. So this is a pool noodle cut in half. That way it doesn't wiggle and roll around. So they just hold it again and just hammer it in. So if you can't find cardboard, if you don't have the kneeling garden mats and they're not there at the dollar store anymore, just take a pool noodle and cut it in half, and they can hammer away and they stick right in. They're great. All the things. And then if you don't have pool noodles, I still have another option for you. You can still use just Play-Doh and your golf tees, and obviously you can use a pumpkin. That's the thing we all do, right? So they just smash their Play-Doh, and then they can just hammer the golf tees. Now they don't really have to hammer very hard. They can push it in, unless you have some older Play-Doh. They would actually have to hammer, but they'll still do the motions if they're using the Play-Doh. So these hammers, I see everybody asking again. So I linked the golf tees and these hammers in my Amazon storefront, and I put the link at the top of this post. So yeah, so these are from Amazon. It comes in like a pack of 10. And I'll drop the actual link too after I'm done live with you guys. So pool noodles work. The garden kneeling mats from the dollar store work, thick cardboard, or Play-Doh. So those are all the different kind of mats you can use. Gotta know the basics before we get into all the fun activities, right? So I want to show you something I've had in my classroom. Like that, it looks so simple, but when this is out for table time, you guys, in the morning, my kids would be so excited. They would like run in, say bye mom, and bye dad, bye grandma, whoever it was, and then like literally find the board they wanted and like go to town. Like it's literally, you guys, a piece of cardboard, and I took a Sharpie and I wrote letters on it. Super simple. Here's another one. And I just did like as many as I could fit. Here's another one. And yes, they do go through, but it's they will poke it through on purpose, and that you will get holes, and it's not a big deal. It happens. And so some of the kids, and it depends on their level, like when they use these boards, they're literally just hammering and they're not noticing the letters. So if they're not noticing the letters, then I say, oh, what letter are you hammering next to? So it's really great to use for positional words too. Oh, what letter are you hammering in the middle of? Oh, letter D. Oh, what sound does D make? And you can have those letter conversations. So some of the kids will ignore the letters. Some of the kids will be like, we'll hammer exactly. It's totally kind of an open exploration. It's a great thing for morning table time. Literally put one of these out at each chair with a hammer, some golf tees in the middle, and they're talking about letters and getting some fine motor practice in at the same time, and they're getting that that sensory input in by hammering, working that shoulder muscle too, which they need to write. So you can put letters on them, and you can see my kiddos have loved on these. And then too, we sometimes I take these and put them in this bin. And I will literally just put them in this bin with some hammers, and I'll put this in the library center. And the kiddos who do not like to go to library will be very, very excited to go to library if you have hammers, golf tees, and something for them to hammer in. And you can totally write letters on the pool noodles. You can write them on the board, or not boards, what are these? The garden kneeling mats. So yeah, you can write them on any of these. But I just happen to have these cardboard ones. So you don't have to just do letters. You can also do shapes. I did a thicker line because if you look, my kiddos really like to do it, or you can make your letters bigger too. They wanted to hammer right on the line. So again, that's great hand-eye coordination. They're talking about shapes. Are you hammering on the vertice, or are you hammering on the side of the shape? So lots and lots of great conversations can happen. Again, just using some golf tees and some hammers. Let's see, can I have a number one? Here's some more shapes. Oh, I think they destroyed my number one last year. Here's my shape one. You guys, look, they love this activity. Like, it's almost like hammered all the way through. But I had a number one last year too. Peeling. But yeah, so you can even put numbers on them. And here, I'll make one real quick. So you can just take some cardboard that comes in from when you unbox something, some furniture or something. And all you have to do is literally, you can put up whatever you want on these. So I'm just gonna do some numbers on these, and then I'm gonna draw a line down the middle. So that way they can see where one number ends and one number begins and which dots go to which number. Guys, it's that simple. Super simple. So yeah, so then they can just hammer on the number. Say I have 2, and then I'm gonna get 2 golf tees because I'm gonna put them inside the 1, 2. So now they're doing one-to-one correspondence, hand-eye coordination, fine motor, working those shoulder muscles, so many things. And again, you can do it on any of the other boards too. So that's probably my favorite thing to do with golf tees and hammers. So my kiddos like that so much that I made in my TBT store a build the letter little mat. So I want to say these are like $1 or $2. The link's at the top of this post. So if you really want them to work on the letters, you can just tape these to the cardboard or whatever mat you're using, and they just hammer to make the letter. So if you have a kiddo who is struggling with the letter E or struggling with letter E and F, like maybe they're having trouble distinguishing which is which, you can give them this board, and you can put some on the back too, and you can also color copy them. So yeah, so you can do them again. Whoops! Oh, my tape isn't sticky anymore. But so you can put them on the garden mats too. So I have the letters, and if you want to use, these are also great to use with Q-tips. So you don't have to just use these for letter hammering. But here is the number. I'm gonna rip this off. Here is there's the Q. Here's the number version. Where's my tape? So again, just super simple. You just tape it on. So, and I just happen to have numbers 9 and 10 on here. And then they can hammer the number, and then they can count it out in the 10 frame. So they would count out, so they would count out 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then they could hammer in the 9 in the 10 frame. And when they do it, I'm just gonna poke it in to be quicker. They'll be doing one-to-one correspondence. So even if they counted wrong, it's kind of a great way to check. So let's say they counted out 10, like they're gonna have an extra one and there's not gonna be a dot. So they're gonna go, oh, I counted too many, I have 1 too many. Or maybe they didn't count out enough. So, oh, I only counted out 8, I need 1 more to make 9. So it's just a really fun activity to work on. Counting, one-to-one correspondence, again, great for table time. And you would think this is loud, but it's a little loud, but it's not insanely loud. Yeah. So these are in my TBT store. I put the link at the top of this post for you guys. So another fun thing you can do for math is you can just have them grab a dice, and they can have a partner, so another person can be on the other side of them, and they can take turns rolling the dice. We're gonna pretend I rolled a lower number. I got 2, and I'm just gonna put 2 in my board. We'll just pretend I put 2 in my board. And then the other person would go, and they would roll, and they would count out how many. Because, you guys, our table time activities and our activities, they don't have to be these crazy, insane, Pinterest perfect things. They can literally be 2 pieces of cardboard, some golf tees, and a dice, because they will love this just as much, if not more, than some of these amazing, and don't get me wrong, I love ideas on Pinterest. You can get lost on Pinterest for hours, but I think it makes us think that Like simple activities like this, they're not good enough anymore. But these activities, you guys, they will love and they'll want to play again and again and again and again. And again, you can use foam dice, or if you guys follow me, you know I love using different dice. You can use color dice. So they would roll the dice and they would, let's say they rolled blue, they would have to get out. So if you have 3-year-olds or if you have kiddos working on colors, they have to roll the dice to get a color. They get blue and then they put a blue in and then their other person goes. Or maybe they're playing by themselves and that's okay too, especially with all the COVID craziness. You can also, I know somebody said in the Facebook group that these block dice, these wooden blocks are at the Dollar Tree right now. And I just made a dot dice with 1, 2, and 3, and then it says 1, 2, and 3 on the other sides. So if you have 3-year-olds, this is perfect. If you have kinder and the 6 dice is too easy for your kids, put numbers on these, or you could put higher numbers on these, or you could even put like addition facts. So that way you can differentiate for your kiddos, and everybody's challenged just at their own level, just using golf tees and hammers, whatever hammer you have. So if that isn't enough fun, why don't we add pom-poms? Because you guys know I love pom-poms. So this is my bin of pom-poms from Amazon. They're linked at the top. I'm gonna, hold on. I have too much stuff. Hold on. This happens, right? When I do Facebook. Okay, so we got our golf tees in. So now they can use their tweezers or their fingers and they can balance the pom-poms on the golf tee. So this bucket of pom-poms is different sizes. So if you have pom-poms that are all the same size, they would just be balancing them. Maybe some of these are too big and they would fall off. So then that would be some problem solving and they'd have to do some critical thinking to figure out which pom-poms fall off and which ones don't. Or they can just simply be doing some fine motor and some hand-eye coordination, some one-to-one correspondence practice by just adding pom-poms. So one day you could have out just the mats and the golf tees. The next day you could add the golf tees and the pom-poms. And then the next day you could put out golf tees, the pom-poms, and add a dice. Like you could literally have this out like all week and do different things. So pom-poms are really fun to balance on top, but you guys know we love mini erasers. And guess what? They balance on here too because they're flat. So I have these pumpkin ones out because I was working on the pumpkin unit earlier. So they can balance mini erasers on there. So that's another fun thing they can do. Again, just developing that hand-eye coordination, all those fine motor muscles. If you have gems, they can balance those on top. These are just some Halloween ones I have. They'll have to figure out, like I turn the spider over, so they'll again have to do some problem solving to figure out which items can balance, which ones aren't able to balance, how to manipulate the object to make it balance. So lots of critical thinking just with golf tees and gems or mini erasers or whatever it is. So that is fun, and that's a great STEM activity for you guys. And then let's see, what else? Oh, you can also add, rubber bands. So I know people see, I'll do the pumpkins with the golf tees and then they put the loom bands on. So, or rubber bands. I like to use these little loom bands because they're smaller, they're colorful. So they can put these in and then, I have to get closer. And then they can wrap it around the golf tees. And I'm just not using the hammer just for time. But I do have my hammers. So you can use the golf tees. The golf tees do work better if you use the golf tees with the loom bands do work better if you have these garden mats because the cardboard wiggles a little bit. But it still works. And the classic idea, right? I have to show you this one. So this is actually the white pumpkin from my porch because I haven't bought other pumpkins yet. So this is the thing that everybody does, right? I will say, if they hammer them all the way in to the very top, sometimes I'm not, or the kids were not able to get them out. So it's up to you if you want to. Last year I had to toss some golf tees, which I obviously try and reuse mine. So after that happened, I just told them at the end of the activity during cleanup, they have to pull all of them out. So so they can just literally use the hammer and put them in into the pumpkin, which we all love this activity, right? It's an oldie but a goodie. You have to use some force. As you can see, mine are falling out because I'm talking to you guys. So it's great. And then using those loom bands to make like a geo board on it, so they could use the golf tees with the loom bands and make all the fun things. And you don't have to just do pumpkins. Like, I just went in my refrigerator and I had a pepper. So I was like, you know what? I bet you could hammer in peppers too. Now, if you don't like using food for activities, that's fine too. Maybe you have some fruit that's like no longer good and it's not moldy yet, but you know it's not good to eat. That would be the perfect thing to do. So you don't have to just hammer pumpkins. You can hammer any fruit. Or maybe somebody, there's a farmer down the road or maybe somebody had, you know how when you grow cucumbers, you get so many you can't eat all of them? Try doing cucumbers. Oh, I smell the pepper. You can also do apples. So you don't have to just do pumpkins. So kind of think outside the box if you have extra fruit or fruit that's going to go bad that you're not going to be able to eat. Or you could use this for golf tees and then take it out and then cut it in half and explore the inside. So you're not just using it for that one activity, or you could cut it in half and then stamp with it or something. That way you don't feel bad about wasting fruit. I mean, you guys, those are like it's a really quick Facebook Live tonight because it's super simple and it's fun and it's easy. Oh, I wrote a note to myself. So I have one more thing. So if you have pool noodles, and if you have cut up pool noodles, cut up pool noodles. I actually have a bin. Of course I have a bin, right, of cut up pool noodles because I use them for water play, or in the sensory table we use them for stacking, for making patterns. And I buy my pool noodles from the dollar store. My dollar store has Halloween pool noodles right now. Why? I don't know, but they do. So you might be able to get some purple ones. So you can also build with the pool noodles and the golf tees. So they can hammer it in, then they can put it around, they can stack it on top, they can put it through a couple. So they can kind of just explore the pool noodles, the cut up pool noodles, and a long one that I just cut in half. So they can also build and make really cool structures with just some golf tees and some pool noodles. And you could put this, if you have plastic golf tees, you could put this in the water table. That would be really fun to do. Take it outside for outside play. Ooh, I almost hammered my finger. So they can make really cool things with just golf tees, cut up pool noodles, and then a long pool noodle. So just as a recap, let me tell you all the fun things in case you forgot. So you can use the different boards. So you can use the garden mats, just thick cardboard, pool noodles, cut in half, or Play-Doh. And then you can write on them, and they can just hammer in the boards. Or you can buy printables and put your printables on it's reading a comment. You can put your printables on the mats too, and they can build and make letters and numbers that way. You can also, oh, you can make patterns. I forgot about that one. See, this is why I do the recap at the end in case I forget. So the pool noodle is a really fun one to make a pattern in. So they can just pick the colors and they can make whatever pattern. But oops, apparently I can't make a pattern tonight. Sorry, guys. So obviously the kiddos would be using the hammer to hammer it in. But just again, for time's sake. But look at how fun, like how much fun of a pattern is that? Like this would be a really fun artifact to put in your kiddos portfolio or to send home whatever like communication you guys have with your families. So say, oh look, you know, Susie made a pattern today with golf tees, and just, you know, take a picture of her and with her little pattern and show mom and dad all the fun things you guys are doing through play. So yeah, so that's why I do the recap. So you can do patterns, you can roll a dice and put that many on, you can balance pom-poms on them, maybe not the sparkly ones, you can balance pom-poms on them, you can balance mini erasers on them, you can put them in fruit. What else? Yeah, and you can make things with them with pool noodles. So there's so many fun things you can do with simple golf tees and hammers. And again, all this stuff is linked in my Amazon storefront at the very top. So yeah. So I hope you guys try out some golf tee and hammer. And if you guys don't have your hammers yet, or if you don't have them, you can always use those cylinder or like square blocks, and they can use that as a hammer too to work that shoulder muscle. So yeah. So I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys got some fun ideas so you can spice up your lesson plans next week. Sometimes just a little fresh idea goes a long way. And you guys, my kiddos loved these. If you have a kiddo who has separation anxiety, who loves building, put this out. This will help a ton. A ton. That was my trick last year with one of my kiddos. This was the hammering with the letters. So yeah. Well, you guys have an awesome night, and I will see you next week.